evening, everyone. So I want to talk a little bit about, I've been watching things off and on to social media, YouTube mostly. People have their own channels to express how they're feeling about what's going on. So some of the farmers are like, "Oh, bankruptcy, and we've had this in our house all these years, and now it's filed bankruptcy because he voted for Trump. It was going to make them rich, and he didn't put them in brown. And then other countries are now starting to realize they were being used, and so they're backing out. They're not supporting him anymore either. But what I want to talk about is I was listening to this man to put out a video, and he was like, "If you're a real Christian, uh, you wouldn't even think about the dollar." And I talked in my channel about, love your neighbor as you love thyself, which he did mention. But he was like, "I'm going to be in heaven watching you get yours." That's not Christian either. And the reason why I want to talk about this because I understand when you're angry. I get it. He was using his name. I guess he was reading his. He was reading something that he put out. And not only that, he could put him in danger. You know, they're saying that they hate this. They voted for a rapist. They voted. They did. They did everything. I mean, it's a felon. Um, I wouldn't say rapist because what happened to that one lady? He touched her inappropriately. But just really harsh words. And he's like, "I hope I'm in heaven to watch you get what you're gonna get." I wouldn't want to be watching anything what he's gonna get. Because that's not even Christian. When people do me wrong, I pray for them. I don't wish harm on them, and I don't celebrate their downfall. Because it's not right. And so by one person pulling them in, I'm sorry, my daughter just do that. Um, as Christians, we don't celebrate someone's downfall. Just because they were fooled, by the excitement of those groups and stuff, and the tapping at their heads, and things like that. They're fell victim to him too, and they're paying for it already. What they put out, how you get in return. So I'm not happy that a farmer lost his farm. I'm not happy that all these farmers have no international trade because they didn't know he was racist. But if they would have known things about father, I guess in the right way, who knows? God has everybody live their life for a purpose. And there have to be lessons or how do we learn from them, right? So, and I would not ever laugh at someone's downfall. No. I mean, I've had my moments, I did talk about in the very beginning of my videos that if the, in my situation I was lied on, and I made it real clear in my videos in the very beginning, it will affect for generations. Um, and anyone who backed it or participated, it will affect their generation. And here comes Trump, and he started deporting people. And I really thought, I made a video of it. I was, this is not what I thought, but I didn't know if it happened this generation or the next or the next. And sometimes when people put things out, it will affect their children. So when they get to be a certain age or an adult, if nothing's going right for them, it's because of what happened in the past. And we have ancestors. We have things that happen in our life. And so, and I make that real clear to never ever want illness when we could pray for healing and blessings. If I have all this anger pent up in me, I need to give it to you before I lose my own soul. Hey, put it that way, that's really what it is. And I understand. I mean, when I found out my neighbor on my lot complex taking pictures of the gate, he already had his own problems. Um, I was so angry. I didn't touch myself. I literally went to the Lord. But the only thing I did tell him was, "You're gonna reap what you sowed." You know what I mean? I mean, we're all suffering in this conflict, but no hot water. And it turns out later he was infested with um bugs. And my daughter was so was no wonder he was so angry. That I was his target, and I don't know why. I was his trip for his wife or girlfriend, whoever it was. And I didn't take it into my own hands. I gave it to the Lord, and He did protect me in that situation, big time. And He showed His wings. If you go to my TikTok channel, my picture has an angel wing. So, because I thought the guy was going to kill me. I really did. And I didn't do anything. I defended his wife. Because, that's it. But please, you know, because the person who's wishing harm or doesn't care about what happened to them because they made bad choices, everything is a lesson in life. And when you go out there and like, oh, you don't care about this, or you don't care about that, or you voted for him, you're reaping what you sow. That's not how this works. That's not godly either. Even though the scribes in here and those other people in with our Lord was alive, he did not get hate. Like if you would know me if you knew the Father. That's what he said to him. And he was always going at you because he knew that they were always trying to kill him. There's jealousy, and things like that. Farmers have struggled for years throughout the years. But like I said, there was a shout out from, well, I made a video a while back about farmers, and it will it'll be a lot different. The government won't have any say in that once all this is said and done, because they're going to get together and they're going to make this right. So they're as they sit. I didn't really pay attention to what was going on before he got elected, only that he was spreading his hat and all those, you know, people can say a lot of things. And this is where the lessons are here. There's so many lessons in this whole situation. So just keep that in mind and ask Father to help you with anger. It's really important. Uh, because it can lead to horrible things. We don't want that either. If you're a Christian and you're supposed to love the neighbor as you love thyself, and it's unconditional love, our Lord Jesus said, unconditional love. And that's what he did. Father does the judging. And that's what we live by. Right?